Hello everyone, I'm Gabe and I want to welcome you to another bonus video. In the last video I said that the region was lacking dark types and I left it up to you to give some inspiration, and you certainly did. I got so many awesome ideas. So today we'll be designing a split evolution and then a regional form that I highly doubt you will be able to guess. The first Pokemon is pulled directly from Pewter City Jim's comment. This will be merging the prehistoric hedgehog Quilvacol, which I was not familiar with before this, and early bone tools. Jim's right that the use of bones is a good in for dark typing. And a quick aside, Pewter City Jim is actually working on his own Pokemon region over on his channel. It's based in California, and it's off to an awesome start. I'll leave a link down in the description below if you want to check it out. Okay, so we're designing. I had a general idea for the form and pose right away. You know, I love the idea of this little hedgehog porcupine thing, kind of pulling quills off its own back and wielding them as little needle daggers. You know, we're also going to cheat just a little and say that the quills are made of bone. I mean, obviously, in actually quilled animals, they're not bone, but we're just going to go with this for the theme. I struggled quite a bit with the colors for this one. You know, I was in such a rush to get these designs out, I failed to just do a simple thing, which is go look at the palette of other existing Dark-type Pokemon. Eventually I got there, even if the quill pattern still took forever to finalize. But anyway, here's Quilvacol, the bone quill Pokemon. This grumpy little Pokemon isn't content using its bony quills for just defense. It plucks the quills from its back to either throw or use as weapons. Quilvacol's bone needles are sharp enough to pierce through solid rock, and they're always trying to discover new ways to use them. Its ability is Iron Bar, so just like Togedemaru and other kind of hedgehog Pokemon, attackers will take damage if they make contact with it. Now, I think I'll toss this little guy into the next episode, but what is really fun is that it gets a split evolution from here. You know, I can't decide if this split evolution should be based on stats or by evolution items. You'll have to let me know actually down in the comments below if you prefer stats or items for the evolution method. Anyway, the first possible evolution would be if the attack stat is higher than the special attack stat, or if you're giving it like a thick club item instead. You know, the thick club is the thing that Marowak uses. For this design, I had a couple inspirations. First and most obviously is turning bones into weapons. So I gave it a huge sword-like weapon. The second thing came primarily from the pose itself, but I was getting some real Cloud Strife Final Fantasy energy from this. So I decided to lean into that like edgelord mall ninja aesthetic. And I let the Dex entry kind of play up that it thinks it's real cool for having a big old sword. Anyway, the colors, again, they took a while to figure out. I ended up switching the normal and shiny colors in the end. And here is Quilvanq, the bone sword Pokemon. Quilvanq seek out chunks of bone and fashion them into weapons. They carefully carve a grip and sharpen the bone into a point. Quilvanq pride themselves in being able to wield the largest pieces of bone in battle. Scientists have studied its biology and behavior, but are still unsure if Quilvanq is an ancestor of Togedemaru or Marowak. Its ability is Scrappy, so it can use its fighting moves to hit ghost types. I think this little monster will fit particularly well with the Team Arc grunts you'll run into across the Palean region. You know, I like how it turned out. Normally, I'm not a fan of Pokemon designs incorporating items, but this bone sword is so over the top and ridiculous that I think it works. Now, what could the other side of this split evolution look like? Luckily, I got another really great suggestion, this time from Boreal Mind. She suggested using the idea of cave paintings, which I couldn't believe I hadn't thought of that before. So this split evolution will be a little dark Dark-type artist. Oh, and again, I have to give a shout out. Boreal Mind just so happens to be working on her own Pokemon region too. She's much farther along, and it's awesome. It's based on Germany, and it incorporates a bunch of history and mythology. I'll leave a link down below. Take a look at it. Anyway, back to the design. I had an idea of the pose right away. I was thinking about Mega Sableye and how it holds that giant gem in front of itself. And I was thinking about how interesting it would be for a Pokemon to have painted on a large rock and carry it around and use that image to try and like scare others. So this could evolve from Quilvacol by either having a higher special attack than attack stat, or by giving it a new evolution item like a ball of twine or something. Again, let me know what you think about the evolution methods down below. It's a little tough to see since a lot of the design is blocked by the rock itself, but I wanted the design to be more like a porcupine, with the quills kind of flowing from the head as if it were a headdress. Colors took some tweaking, but here is Quilvermeer, the bone brush Pokemon. Quilvermeer have learned how to fashion bits of bone and fur into a simple paintbrush. Rather than face opponents themselves, they use smashed berries to create a terrifying visage on a slab of stone in hopes of scaring others away. Researchers suspect that Quilvermeer from different areas paint unique, ominous faces on their stone slabs. Its ability is Rock Head, but that protects the Pokemon from recoil damage. It's mainly for the name because he's holding like a big scary head made of stone. Oh, also, I do really love the idea of Quilvermeer's paintings varying. It could either be like Spinda, so there are like just little slight differences between each painting, or it could be like a regional thing, like Vivian's wing pattern varying depending on what region you're playing the game in. But yeah, what do you think of this split evolution line? With all the other designs I had planned, this is actually the first split evolution. Okay. On to our Primal regional form. I got a great suggestion from Rawl that I look at a greedy, thiefy, snapping turtle based on Cymotus. I was initially going to design something from scratch, but someone else was asking about making a dark regional form. Luckily, there is a design that I really dislike that isn't too dissimilar from Cymotus, and that is Turtonator. It's a big, mean turtle. Cymotus is a big, mean turtle too. There were a couple of things that I wanted to incorporate in this primal form. Firstly, that stupid nose had to go. I hate Turtonator's nose, but the concept meant that it needed a snapping beak, so there you go, easy fix. And secondly was getting the kind of segmented shell that Cymotus has. I redesigned the shell, but I kept it mostly the same. I was really rushing through the design, and I wish I had spent more time making sure that the shell proportions were consistent, but it turned out okay for the time I spent on it. The colors took a long time to figure out. It was a balance of bringing in Dark-type colors while still hinting that it would eventually lead to a Fire-type, in the future. It's a little punchier than it needed to be, but pretty fun. And here is Primal Turtonator, the Snap Thief Pokemon. The primal form of this massive turtle loves to steal items and hide them inside their mostly hollow shell. You can often see glittering objects through the hole in the front of their shells, but they snap at anyone who gets too close. Primal Turtonator lacks an explosive shell, but it is still a nearly impossible barrier to break. Its ability is something new I'm calling Moocher, and that is when this little thief, when he hits another Pokemon, if that Pokemon is holding a berry, Turtonator will eat it immediately. And of course, its shiny is just the regular Turtonator colors. Now, I'm not sure where it'll show up, probably later in the region since its stats are actually pretty good. Here are all of the new Dark types, though. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts on today's episode down in the comments below, especially let me know which of these Dark types is your favorite. And with that, I'll see you in episode 5.